We messed up. We feel bad.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Morgan Homestead. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Sandy. And today we want to talk to you about the things that didn't go quite so right this past year. The things that we are going to adjust and learn from, and hopefully you can learn from too. Okay, one of the things that I did wrong this year, that I feel like I did wrong, we did a collaboration with Off Grid Garden, and they sent us a bunch of seeds, and we promised them that we would update them on the progress. I had great germination on the broccoli, cauliflower, and the cabbage. I planted them all out in our raised bed out here, but we didn't take into consideration that there might be predators, because we've never had any problems with predators out here, and a rabbit or something got in and ate pretty much all of the plants. So I had to go out. I didn't have enough time to start over on those seeds. I had to go out and buy new plants. So what we did, if you want to see here, we put some netting over to protect the plants until they get a little larger. We're hoping that we don't have a problem with the predators. I also put, you can see I have marigolds planted all around all of the beds. Marigolds keep the rabbits out. We've had really good luck with that previously. So I'm gonna do a full garden tour in the next video, but for now I just felt bad that I started the seeds late and I wasn't able to restart seeds. I didn't have enough time, and we didn't really protect the plants when we got them started out here. So I feel bad about that.
Okay, so we're out here by the winter paddocks. This is where we keep all the pigs during the winter months when they're not on pasture. This is closer to our house, easier access for us. There's a road out here that I can actually blow the snow off of and maintain for the winter when we get a bunch of snow, and it's easier for me to haul water out here for them in the wintertime.
But this last winter we didn't get any snow, and so they were out here for a very long time. I mean, all winter into spring. It really became a big mud pit, and the downside of that was mainly trying to feed them out here. We usually use like rubber bowls, feeding bowls, and they were dragging them all over the place. Kevin made some really good feeders out of barrels, and the boars were destroying them, and so feeding them became kind of a nightmare in the mud.
Yeah, and we're feeding them on the ground. I don't like that. It seems like they waste a lot of the feed, and yeah, it just wasn't working out. So we got to figure out a better way as far as what we're going to put the feed in to feed them.
Yeah, and we had our feeders that we were growing out. We kind of had them all in one paddock, and we had a lot of feeders that we were growing out, and we wanted to keep them as close to the house as possible, because the year before we had so much snow. I mean, it was like, I don't know how many feet.
We had, it's probably at one time probably close to 2 feet on the ground, or right around 2 feet, 2.5 feet.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons we have them up here, and we had all the feeders in one paddock. And the problem with that, trying to feed them and having trouble with feeders, is I think they were getting inconsistently fed. So some of them were maybe not getting as much food as the others. So when we went to bring them to the butchers, I mean, some of them were under the weight that we wanted them to be at. And so that is something we're definitely going to do differently next year. We're going to split them up, even if we have to move them out into further paddocks, maybe have less pigs in each paddock, and maybe come up with a better feeding system. And then if we have to grow them out a little longer, I think we're going to.
I mean, we can. I don't know that we'll need to. The other thing that I'm doing too to alleviate that problem, or what I'm thinking might help, is I'm fermenting their food now. Supposedly when you ferment their food, it's better for their gut. They absorb the nutrients better. So hopefully that'll help as well. But yeah, I think the biggest problem was we had too large a group of pigs together. So the more aggressive pigs would get more feed than the more timid ones that would stand back and wait. So some grew faster than others.
Right. So yeah, we're going to keep a closer eye on that. I mean, we're learning as we go here, so we're hoping you guys can learn from some of these suggestions and tips as well. So that's something we're doing differently next year. Okay, and speaking of processing the pigs, we learned a lot this past year about that. So we have a couple local processing places that we brought the pigs to. The halves and wholes we sold, we brought all to one processor. We didn't even realize or think about that we could bring them to more than just one. And the one that we brought it to had some extra fees that we didn't realize, and we ended up covering those fees for our customers because we didn't communicate them to the customers, and so we lost like almost $300 in that process, but we felt like it was the right thing to do because we didn't communicate. We didn't know, so we're going to definitely look into that in the future. Thinking about it, it's like we need to call around. It's unbelievable, the processors are like booked up. Like we're already trying to get dates for next year, and some of them are completely booked up. So something you need to think about if you're getting into this is look into the processors in your area, or even maybe if they're a little farther out and you have to drive a little bit, or maybe they're closer to your customers, but look into all the fees, the locations, try to plan out your processing dates. Would you add to that?
Well, I would just say, yeah, try to figure out all the cost, so that you can lay out all the costs to your customers, so that they're not getting blindsided by certain things that they didn't expect.
Yeah, and then we didn't communicate to the one processor that did our USDA cuts. It was our first time ordering, and we didn't communicate correctly with them, and we didn't get enough brats that we had ordered. We got way too much of breakfast sausage and things like that. I mean, we need to be more diligent about communicating with the processors as well, because we were at our farmers market this year and we sold out. Well, I mean, it's a good thing. We sold out of everything, all of our cuts, but there was we wanted more brats because it's a good seller in the summertime.
Well,
and
plus,
we ran out so early.
And in the summertime, people like to grill. Brats are something that you grill, pork chops too as well. But like she said, we did run out of everything, which is a good thing. Yeah. It's just something that we got to figure in for next year.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we sold out. But next year we want to bring more pigs to USDA. We want to have more product available. We feel bad when people come up to our booth at the farmers market and we're sold out. Now I know that's good for us, but it's bad for our customers, and we want to have more product throughout the whole season. So we're trying to learn how to stagger our processing, stagger our feeders and halves and wholes that we're selling, and so that we always have product. So that's something to think about. All right, so cows. Let's talk cows. We got cows, as you guys know. Thanks for all the name suggestions. If you follow us on Facebook, you know that the black one here we named Shadow, and the brown one here we named Buttercup. Our neighbor found these guys for us, and we were super happy about it. It was an impromptu decision. We kind of had to rush to set up paddocks and to get them in fencing, and yeah, we had a little mishap here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so we had them in the fencing. They were just fine. One day I wanted to rotate them to a new paddock, so I moved the fencing and moved them over to the new paddock. But when I feed the pigs twice a day, so I check on the cows both times, in the morning and the evening. Well, the night before I checked, the cows are just fine. Woke up the next morning, went out to feed the pigs, and the cows were gone. It's like, where in the heck did the cows go? How did they get out? I don't really know. They must have went under the fence somehow. I did only have one strand of the poly wire, and maybe I had it too high. Somehow they got under it. I don't know. But anyway, we're like, we don't know where they went. I thought maybe they just went off into the woods somewhere, you know, so I still had to feed the pigs. Sandy went out looking for them.
Yeah, I was out in the woods all over, hollering and yelling to no avail.
And so I called the neighbor. I'm like, you don't happen to have a couple extra cows over there, do you? And he's like, well, I don't know. Let me go look. So we went out and looked, and no, they're not over here. You know, so I thought, well, I don't know. He's like, you're just going to have to maybe get in the side by side and drive down the road and see if you can't find them somewhere. So in the meantime, we went back. I decided we're going to probably eat breakfast first. And then the phone rings, and it's my other neighbor down the road, actually my next door neighbor here's son. He's like, are your cows in? I'm like, no. And I'm thinking, well, his dad must have called him and told him. But
Right.
he's like, well, they're down by, on the road going down towards the lake next to Mark's cows. I'm like, what?
That's like 2.5 miles away from
It is,
here.
yeah, about 2.5 miles away. So I get in the side by side, I run down there, and there they are, laying in the ditch, next to the road, next to all the other cows from this other farmer, you know. And I'm like, what in the world? How are we going to get these guys back? So I ended up calling the neighbor, and he came down, and we ended up doing a cattle drive for 2.5 miles down the roads to try to get them home. And of course, they never want to go where you want them to go. Get them moving really good, and all of a sudden they'll dart left or right into somebody else's property. They go into the woods. You're trying to get them out of the woods. It was quite the fiasco. It was just crazy. So finally, we get them close to the house. I get them running down the driveway, and out jumps Sandy.
Oh yeah, I got treats!
And
Treats!
so they take
Scared
off
'em, scared
into
'em.
the woods, going back towards the direction we just ran them from. I thought, oh my gosh, they're back in the woods. How are we going to get them out? But it all worked out with the help of our neighbor. We did end up driving them all the way back over to where they're supposed to be and get them fenced back up again. So that night, I'm thinking, and talking with the neighbor, I need to put a perimeter fence up. So what I only had a fence on each end of the property, of the field, and then I just ran poly wire between those two ends, and that was their fencing. That way I could move the paddocks, you know, up and down within that area. So we decided that maybe it'd be a good idea if I put a perimeter fence up. So put a fence up on that side and that side as well. That way there's two fences that they'd have to go through before they can get out. So I did that. That night I ran and got all the materials I needed to do. Put one of the fences up that night, and then the other fence up the next morning. And we haven't so far had any problems, luckily.
Yeah, and Kevin, he was so exhausted after running
Oh my gosh.
2.5 miles, and he's like, if these guys get out again, he said, there's someone else's
They're going to be
cows.
somebody else's cows, because I am not going to do that again. It was terrible.
So, I don't know. I
So
mean,
we're just made sure, I think, this time they're not going to go anywhere.
yeah, I mean, we love these cows, and we don't want to lose them. So, and I guess our neighbor was kind of upset that they were over by his cows, and I mean, they must have hurt them or something, and these are both girls. We don't have a boy for them yet. I don't know, maybe that's what they were looking for. I don't know. But anyway, that was a fiasco, and we hope to never have that happen again. Okay, let's talk about chickens real quick. We had a broody hen earlier this year, and I think I've shown you guys Louise, this light colored hen right here. Well, she was broody and nothing was happening, so we went and bought a couple of chicks and put them under her, and she adopted them just fine. We've had great success doing that. The two chicks are right over there. They are Easter eggers, Americanas. I'm not really sure, one of the two. But they're just gorgeous, and they're doing great. She's taken such good care of them. She's a good mama. We love her. And then we have another problem here. So the problem is we have 2 more broody hens now. We have this black one, I don't remember what we called her, and Raven. Raven is one of our OG chickens. She's one of the originals, and she's a great mama, but so we thought, well, we don't want them sitting on eggs again. We're collecting eggs every day, we're selling eggs. We can't have broody hens because that messes everything up. So we did the same thing. We went and bought a couple of chicks. Well, we came out here one night to do it, and here they were both in the same nesting box, and we didn't realize it at first. We had to turn a light on. You want to come out in the dark and kind of sneak them under them, and that's what's always worked. But they were both in the same nesting box, and we turned a light on, we moved them, they got all upset, and through all that chaos, I think, they just weren't having it. And they didn't adopt the chicks. The chicks were running around in the coop and confused what was going on. So we're gonna try it one more time, see if we can sneak them under these guys, but that's kind of a bummer when you have broody hens and you're not getting all the eggs. And some of the chickens are laying in the other boxes. We are getting some eggs, and we're coming out here and taking them away from these 2 girls every day. But it's just a pain when they're broody, and we're hoping that they're not realizing they've only been broody for like a week or so now. We're hoping they think, oh yeah, these must be our chicks. We'll let you know if it works. Okay, and this year we got meat chickens to process, and we got a big batch, and 2 of the birds they sent us were not meat chicks. We get Cornish cross, and we had 2 that were not Cornish cross. One of them is right here. So we integrated them. The other one I think is inside the coop, up on the roosting.
He's hard to catch.
But anyway, we decided, well, we're just gonna integrate these chickens with our coop, with the rest of our chickens. So we had the chicken tractor outside. We had them watch, the routine of our chickens, so they understood what the assignment was. And then we brought them inside and put them in this cage, and we had it closed with food and water in there, and we let them watch for another couple days just so they understand the coming and the going of the chickens, because our chickens are very well trained. They're always in the coop at night, right after dusk or even before it gets dark. They're in the coop and ready. I come out, shut everything up, check on them. But then we opened up the door here, and we let them in the run for a bit to integrate with the other chickens, and it's worked out great. The only negative to this is one of them is a rooster, we think, and we're not sure our rooster here, Fuzzy, is gonna like that so much. So I wonder if that's why the rooster's hiding out in the coop right now. Because,
he's right there.
Oh,
that is him.
Oh, this is the rooster.
Yeah.
The hen is inside here, already staking her spot in the coop for the evening. I don't know. It's not anywhere near time for them to go to bed, but she's making sure that she gets a spot, I guess. She's in there already, but so anyway, that was weird, but processing went really well. We have our freezer full of chicken. Day 1, and I am going to put up a video of kind of the whole life cycle of the whole meat processing deal. I had hoped to do some more video on the actual processing, but I got sick. I helped Kevin the first day, and then I wasn't feeling well, so he had to do the whole second day by himself. But we also learned not to do quite so many birds. So the time we had processed before, we did like 50 chickens. That was too much for us, so this time we did 20. We did 20, right?
We bought 20, lost 1, and 2 of them were not Cornish cross.
Right.
So 17 total.
17 total. So we'll see how that goes. We're learning, to make, keep track of how many birds you actually need so that we don't have too many in our freezer for too long. So we're hoping that that's going to be the right amount. I mean, the chickens looked great. They were all really good size that we did. And I usually get like multiple meals out of one bird. So if I take out a chicken, you know, we probably only go through one chicken every 2 weeks because you don't want to be eating chicken every single night. So anyway, that's what we learned on meat bird processing this year. Okay, so these are the babies that we hope to sneak under the Broody hens tonight. This one is a Polish. It's gonna have a fuzzy head or like feathers on the head, goofy looking thing. And then this is another Easter egger, like Americana type baby chick. So we hope to get these two to mamas tonight. Wish us luck.
Okay, so we've been pretty busy with all the animals and the new animals, setting everything up for them. We haven't really done much on the house here this year. We will be doing a bunch of things, and we will be keeping you updated on those things as we go.
Oh, and real quick, I wanted to mention when we were processing chickens this year, we had someone, one of our customers at the farmers market, I can't remember who, wanted to bring their chickens out, and we were going to show them how to process the chickens and everything. I lost that contact information. It was such a crazy day. I don't remember who it was. So if you're watching and you know, reach out to us, and next time we do it, I promise we will definitely have you come out and show you that whole process. But yeah, we haven't gotten much done in the cabin. If you're following us for cabin updates, we will share those when we get to those, but it's been a really crazy busy year. And also I feel bad that I haven't had, you know, our friends and family and even some customers have asked about you know, farm tours or coming out to see the place, and we've just been so busy. We're at the farmers market every Saturday for like 5 hours, and that's exhausting. It takes a lot of our time prepping for that. And sorry about the beagle in the background. She's out in the woods chasing rabbits right now. That's what beagles do. So that's just farm life. But anyway, I hope to have something maybe this fall, a get together for people who want to come out and see the animals. We really miss all of our family and friends. So if you're watching, please reach out to us if you want to come out and see the animals, see the place. We would love to have you. We hope that this becomes a place where family is comfortable coming to and staying, and friends as well. But yeah, I think that's about it for now. Anything you want to add? No,
I think we've covered it pretty much.
Okay, I'm going to do a garden tour real soon here. Hope to get more regular on the videos, but we're doing the best we can right now. Thank you so much. We appreciate every single one of you. And we're so happy to have you with us on this journey. And I guess that's it.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now.